The function f is defined by f of x equals this for all real numbers x, where that symbol r denotes the greatest integer less than or equal to the real number r. What is the range of f? So for this problem, I'm just going to start looking for patterns here. So what happens if I plug in f of 1? That's then absolute value of 1 is 1. Next largest integer is 1. I end up getting 1 minus 1 is 0. Another thing I'm going to try is 0. F of 0, same thing. Get 0 minus 0 equals 0. Looks like the only value in our range we've gotten so far is 0. What if I try a fraction? With that, that's still going to evaluate to 0 minus 0 is 0. And what about a negative fraction? Well, this is interesting because the absolute value of negative a half is 1/2, and then the next largest integer of 1/2 is going to be 0. And then if you then take, so if we have the next largest integer of negative 1/2 is negative 1, absolute value of that is 1. So 0 minus 1, that's negative 1. And just to check another negative value, I'm going to see that this becomes 1 minus 1, which is 0 again. So something interesting is happening whenever you're plugging in a negative fraction. So if I were to plug in like f of negative 3.5, notice what's going on here. The change from, so initially you take the absolute value of that, that's 3.5, and I define that. Alternatively, already finding that value, I'm just taking the absolute value of negative 4. What happens here is that the next largest value of a negative number is going to give you a negative number that has a larger absolute value. Whereas with this, that's then going to demote 3.5 down to 3. So similarly, we get 3 minus 4. So basically, every time we're having a negative fraction, we'll get negative 1 in the range. And all other times, we'll get 0. So the range of that function is 0, negative 1. And that is choice A.